Hey everybody, welcome back to Board Game Blender, episode 50, if you can believe it. If you've been with us for the entire journey, by the way, I gotta take just a second here and say a big thanks to you for sticking with us, for being a part of our little Blender family here. So to those of you that have been with us for a long time, big thanks. So today we're going to be talking about Cardboard Zen, just relaxing games that you know, the kind of thing you can play after a dinner, just unplug and take it easy tonight. So that's what we're going to be talking about. We've got a lot of cool games for you. Hopefully you can discover your next favorite for playing after dinner, just on a lazy Sunday morning, something like that. Something very zen, very relaxing. So without further ado, let's kick it off right away. Here we go. Enjoy the episode.
Hey guys, Tiff here. This week we're talking about relaxing games, and it's amazing how timely this topic is. My Board Game Club kids can be a little competitive, and recently I've had a need for something less aggressive. Let's take that. When looking through my collection, I wanted something with a laid-back theme, lovely art, and indirect interaction. Tokaido by Antoine Bauza seemed to fit that bill perfectly, so I gave it a try. Tokaido is essentially a set collection game for 2 to 5 players in which you take on the role of a traveler, seeing the sights of Japan as you go from Edo to Kyoto. The basis of this game is the movement, which is simple. When it's your turn, you can move ahead as many spaces as you like. The catch is, whichever traveler meeple is furthest behind on the path gets to go next. Staying behind gives you less choice of actions, but more, sometimes back-to-back, turns. Each player starts by choosing a traveler board that gives them a special ability. These abilities give an incentive for going to certain locations along the path. For example, Mitsukuni, the old man, gets an extra point every time he visits the hot springs. Besides the hot springs, which simply give 2 or 3 points, there are 6 other types of locations. You can go to farms to get coins, or visit a temple to donate coins and collect points. When you go to the village spaces, you get to draw 3 souvenir cards and buy as many as you can afford, with the goal of creating unique sets. The first one you get is worth 1 point, and you get higher point values for each different item after that. Panorama spaces allow you to collect beautiful images of the Japanese countryside, each worth an ascending number of points as you come closer to building the larger picture. The first player to complete each of the 3 pictures receives an achievement card worth 3 points. For the encounter spaces, you draw an encounter card that gives you an immediate benefit. Some give coins, others give points, panoramas, souvenirs, or opportunities to donate to the temple. Inns are the one space on the board that every traveler must stop on. In fact, the first person to arrive in an inn has to wait for everyone else to arrive before they can move on. It sounds bad, but arriving first also gives you first choice of the meal cards available, which are all worth 6 points, but cost 1, 2, or 3 coins. The game ends when all of the travelers have arrived in Edo. Achievement cards are then handed out to the player that has the most coins on his meal cards, and the players with the most hot springs, encounters, and souvenirs. Players who donated to the temple are also awarded additional points based on the generosity of their donations. As always, the player with the most points wins the game. Tokaido has been a breath of fresh air for my middle school board game club. It has interaction in that you can potentially block other players from spaces they might be going for, but it goes over easier since there are never any direct attacks. The theme is great because it's so calm compared to what we usually play. It's pretty hard to get upset over missing a farm when it forces you to stop at a hot springs or grab a souvenir. Because there are so many things to do in the game, you have to think tactically and constantly shift your plans. It was great watching the kids agonizing over their backup plans and looking for opportunities to get in double turns. No matter who wins, they seem to have fun creating travel narratives as they take their actions. I guess proving it really is the journey and not the destination. This is a game I would wholeheartedly recommend to any group. It plays in less than an hour, it's fairly simple, and it seems to have some replay value with my middle schoolers. I hope you check it out, and I'll see you back next time.
Didn't see you there. Hello, friends of the blend, and welcome back to Retro Board Game Corner. Today we're talking about Cardboard Zen, games that really don't have too much thinking involved. Well, here I have Star Wars Return of the Jedi, Battle at Sarlacc's Pit game, published in 1983 by Parker Brothers. This is a 2 to 4 player game in which you're trying to get all the way to Jabba the Hutt so you can throw him in the pit. Well, let me set this up and show you how it works. So this is what the game board will look like set up. First, every player is going to pick a character to play, whether it be Luke, Chewbacca, Han Solo, or Princess Leia. They're all going to start over here at the detention center. Now you're going to have a deck of cards here. The deck of cards consists of cards numbered 1 through 6. The Force card. Take the Force card from any player. Move to any empty space. Change places with any player. And a Jabba the Hutt card. At the beginning of the game, you will get dealt 4 cards. On every single one of your turns, you're going to play one or more of these cards. For example, if you play a numbered card, you're just going to move ahead or that many spaces any direction that you want. If you play a Force card, you can move up to 6 spaces in any direction that you want. If you play one of these direction cards, you just do exactly what it says. For example, this one says move to an empty space. This one says take the Force card from another player. This one says change places with any other player. So instead of playing a numbered card or moving, you can go ahead and play one of these cards and just follow the directions. The object of the game is to come to one of these figures here, whether it be the Gamorra guards, Boba Fett, or the Skiff guard, and try to knock them into the Sarlacc pit. Now, the Gamorra guards are worth 1 point apiece. Boba Fett and the Skiff guard are worth 2 points apiece. And if you knock down Jabba the Hutt into the pit, he's worth 4 points. So, how you knock them down is after you end your move, you have to be next to one of the opposing forces, and then you're going to draw a card. If it's a numbered card, you successfully knock him into the pit, and he falls into the mouth there of the Sarlacc. Now, if you get anything other than a number card, you don't defeat him, and you have to go back to the detention center, which is the starting space over here. Now, in order to beat Jabba the Hutt, you have to knock down every single figure here that's on the bottom level of the skiff before you can attempt to knock down Jabba the Hutt there. Now, in the deck of cards, there is a Jabba the Hutt card. If at any time you draw him, what you do is you move Jabba the Hutt to any of these gray spaces. Now, while Jabba is on these gray spaces, every space down the row here, that opponent cannot play a card. The only thing he can do is move 1 space to get away from his line of sight here. Very good tactic when you want to block somebody there. So after you successfully knock down every single piece on the board, you can go ahead and try to fight Jabba the Hutt. Again, you have to get up here and be on a space next to Jabba. And the only way that you can beat him is by successfully playing a Force card. Once you do that, Jabba falls into the pit, the game is over. And then you just tally up the points. Person with the highest point total wins the game. As you can see, there's nothing much to this game. If I ever want a night where I don't want to think about anything, this is the game I'll play. And it's also great fun just to knock these guys and watch them go into the Sarlacc pit. Well, one important fact is that when Boba Fett actually fell in, he really did fly out, and he is alive and well. Well, that's all the time I have for now. May your rolls be high.
Welcome back, guys, to another segment of How To Fun. I'm Ben, the guy who talks about stuff you probably already know, but feels it's important to do so. This week we are looking at Cardboard Zen, games that give us a very relaxing experience, maybe something we pull out when we're, just need something to pass the time. The game that I chose is none other than the very elusive and sought after, but highly worth it, Arboretum. Let's go ahead and take a look, and then we'll talk fun. Arboretum is a wonderful little card game that will immediately feel like a classic. The game uses tree cards that are of 10 different types, numbered from 1 to 8. The point of the game is to lay these cards down each turn to create paths within your Arboretum in ascending order. But the trick is card management. You have to keep a hand full of cards that will allow you to score for these paths while preventing others from scoring. The game is beautiful and is easily enjoyed by most anyone.
So me and my wife really do love Arboretum. It's probably one of my wife's top 3 games. She loves it. She's always asking to play it. Quick little disclaimer. Unfortunately, the game, in my opinion, doesn't play so good at 2 players. I recommend more. So we don't play it as often as we'd like. But it's a great game. And the artwork's beautiful. I don't know, there's just something very fulfilling about creating this pathway through your Arboretum, all these beautiful trees and, laying them out and seeing your creation grow and beautify. From that aspect, very cardboard zen. But, well, here's how maybe you perceive others playing Arboretum. Let me show you. Looks pretty peaceful, right? Really zen-like. Well, unfortunately, let me show you what it looks like to be playing Arboretum yourself.
Come on, all I need is an oak or an olive, an oak or an olive. Please be a high number, please be a high number. Come on. Oh, dang it. Well, I guess I'll just have to play. No. Yeah, oh, whatever. It doesn't matter anymore. Here. Play this. Now what to discard? Should I get... No, he's got so many oaks. But I know he's got a couple more in his hand. Fine, it's going to be the juniper. Dang it, no, I should have done that. He's going to take it. Shoot!
So, the game may appear pretty zen-like, but it can actually be a pretty stressful and kind of puzzly game if you think about it too much. But I do enjoy this game as a zen experience. And because of that, my fun tip to you is going to be try playing it with people that maybe you would not expect to like it. The gameplay is actually pretty simple. The fact that all you do on your turn is draw 2 cards, play 1, discard 1, will be pretty easy to explain. And players of more traditional card games will find the game appealing. Especially the numbered cards, the different suits, the card back is just beautiful. It gives you a feel of playing a classic card game, but with a very modern and unique twist. So in the end, I highly recommend Arboretum. And like I said, it's a fun game. And so my recommendation is play with everyone you can, because I really think most people are going to enjoy it, especially those that maybe you would rule out at first. So thanks for watching another episode of How to Fun. Look forward to speaking to you again in a week or 2. Thanks. Keep having fun playing games. Can't forget that.
For today's Quirky Game, I'm going to give you a quick look at Herbaceous here, which is a card game in which you are collecting sets of cards, getting points from those sets. You are drawing different herbs, placing them in a public garden that you are sharing with the other players, or planting them in your private garden and then potting them for victory points. The game has a few things that make it a very zen experience for me. The theme, for one, is very, it's cute, it's attractive, it's very well done, and then the cards in the game are magnificently illustrated. They are just stunningly beautiful, and they're very relaxing. They're vibrant. They are just very warm and welcoming. I find the look of the game. And so that's one thing. The other thing is the cadence in the game is very soothing. There is just a nice rhythm to it. On your turn, you are going to be drawing a card, deciding whether you keep it in your own garden or you put it in the common garden, and then you draw another card and you put it in the other place. And so while there's interesting choices there, you want to make some cards not available to your opponents. It's a very breezy, easygoing game. You know, you draw a card, you place it in front of you or on the table, draw one more, that's it. And then every now and then you'll grab a set and you'll score them. You'll only do that 4 times in the game. So when you do it is important, but it's also very easy to score. The score is straightforward, the game is simple, it's short, has that nice, quick, breezy rhythm to it. And so this is an excellent choice, I would say, for a nice, lazy afternoon. It's also the kind of game that would make a very attractive gift to possibly a non-gamer, you know. It's got a theme that is not geeky, it's not off-putting. If the person is into cooking, if the person is into planting, then this is a good one, you know. And the rules are going to be very easy for someone that is not used to, these games of ours, right? And so I would recommend it both for yourself if you are looking for that style of experience, as well as a gift for someone that perhaps, has everything, and maybe this is something that they're not familiar with, games, but they don't necessarily want something about slaying dragons or conquering the stars, you know. Herbaceous here really does a great job at being warm and welcoming and just making for a very relaxing playtime. So I would recommend it. Look into it.
Hello everyone! Today we are going back to our childhood dreams by creating the most magnificent treehouse ever. Do you want a zoo in your house? Or maybe a human-sized chocolate fountain? Or a huge water slide? Imagination is the key in Best Treehouse Ever.
In Best Treehouse Ever, you are going to build a treehouse by adding all these amazing rooms to your tree. The game has a drafting mechanism like Sushi Go, and after every round you score points by how many rooms you have in a certain color. But watch out! If you build your rooms too much on one side, your tree will topple over. After 3 rounds, you score one final time with extra bonus points awarded to the person with the most rooms in a specific color. And the person with the most points wins the game. I've won if I have the water slide room though.
So Best Treehouse Ever, what brings you here?
Niemand kann meine Regeln lesen.
I'm sorry, come again?
Und da möchten Sie nicht mit mir spielen, weil mein Deutsch Sie abschreckt. Die sprechen ja nur Holländisch oder Englisch.
Ah, you're German. If I saw correctly, there's only German in the rules, right? Not in the game?
Ja.
Ah, great. Maybe someone can translate the rules. And then everyone can build an awesome treehouse.
Ah ja, danke Anna.
No problem. Tschüss, treehouse.
Tschüss Anna.
Hello, my name's Dan, and this is my board gaming time capsule. In the future, after the rise of the robot overlords, the world's going to be a pretty grim and horrible place. There's going to be no jobs, there's going to be a breakdown of civilization, and the only restaurants left are going to be those ones that serve their food on slates and things instead of plates. No one's going to want to live in that future, and instead we're all going to hide away in virtual worlds with VR headsets and plugging ourselves into computers, where we can create our own worlds and escape from the grim realities of life. I know it's almost completely impossible to believe now, but maybe one day most of our social interaction will be online, will be through the means of technology, we'll be constantly plugged into a device in order to socialise with our friends and... Sorry. As I say, almost impossible to imagine. So the people of the future need to know that life wasn't always a desperate struggle for survival. That in the past you could kind of maintain a sense of zen, a sense of calm. And that's where my board gaming time capsule comes in, because we need to show them that there were activities, there were things that could bring you inner peace. I've got 2 candidates this week. We've got Cottage Garden and The Pursuit of Happiness. Cottage Garden is like the board game love child of Tetris and Alan Titchmarsh. Trust me, if you're British, that joke was hilarious. In the game, you're fitting together flower beds of various sizes, as well as plant pots and snoozing cats, in order to create a lovely garden. The game's very much multiplayer solitaire, but, as a great Ben Maddox says, there's absolutely nothing wrong with multiplayer solitaire. You don't have to be constantly attacking or competing with someone in order to just sit there and enjoy their company. So there. Now, many people say that The Pursuit of Happiness is a gamer's version of Game of Life. However, I'd argue it's more like a board game version of the computer game The Sims, although, thankfully, you don't have to keep reminding your character to go to the toilet in Pursuit of Happiness. In the game, you take your character from cradle to grave, making choices about what their hobbies will be, who they'll have relationships with, and where they'll work. The game does a fantastic job of saying something actually quite profound about the choices we make, about where we spend our energy in life. And quite frankly, I rarely care if I win or lose the game. I just take satisfaction in crafting a life well lived. So, all that's left to decide is which of the games go in. Now, there's no denying The Pursuit of Happiness is a great game, and it really does bring around that kind of sense of well-being and enjoyment in creating something new. But we need to let the people know what life was really like in the past, and not give them unrealistic ideas of what was achievable back now. And cards like this one, eating healthily and having a trained and obedient dog, well, it's just fantasy, isn't it, basically?
Sit. Sit. Sit.
So, with that in mind, the only thing to do is to put Cottage Garden into our board gaming time capsule.
Hello folks, Mark here, and welcome to Thinking Inside the Box. In this series, I'm focusing on components, inserts, storage solutions, and games that already do both really well. Today we're taking a look at Kanagawa, the master Hakusai, decided to open a painting school to share his art with his disciples. You are one of these disciples. And more than anything, you want to prove yourself worthy of this crazy old artist. Follow his teachings to expand your studio and paint your preferred subjects: trees, animals, characters, and buildings, all while paying attention to the changing of the seasons in order to make the most harmonious print, the one that will become the work of your lifetime. Okay, I really enjoy this game, and I love when a publisher takes the time to make a fantastic insert. Yellow has done a really good job with this one, very little adjusting needed. So there are 3 molded areas for the board and all the components. Yellow went all out on this one. The school board is amazing, simply beautiful. The board rolls up and tucks into place nicely. The 72 lesson cards fit snug into their designated area as well. Now, you could just throw everything else in the big open space, but I think we can do much better. So I did make one addition using the Geek Box. Yes, I really like these boxes if you haven't already noticed. It really did work great for the brush ponds though, which actually helps organize the rest of the tokens. The starting tiles and diploma tiles now fit nicely organized thanks to the Geeks Box, and actually helps to keep them in place. And the Grand Master and Assistant Pawns fit snugly between the tiles. And finally, the 3 storm tokens are stored with the lesson cards using the finger slots. So there you have it. Big kudos to Yellow for making a simple but effective insert, which literally works out of the box. All kidding aside, this is definitely a game I find relaxing, and the aesthetics are amazing, truly matching the theme of the game. Alright folks, Thanks for watching, happy organizing, and until next time, we'll see you at the table.
For today's game Under the Radar, I'm going to be taking a look at this adorable trick-taking card game called Pups. It's been designed by Charlie Bink and published by his company Bink Inc. And there are lots of things that make this one a very zen, relaxing experience for me. First and foremost, the theme and the artwork in the game are really cute, very disarming, just adorable. All the drawings of the little puppies, all the different silly illustrations, the whole thing is just going to give you a warm feeling. It's going to fold you right in. And then on top of that, you are going to be playing a very straightforward trick-taking game, which I also find to be, for the most part, a very relaxing genre. It's the kind of genre that puts you in a mindset to slow down, take it easy. You know the game's going to be a little bit more slower paced. And so if you just get on the right wavelength, it's going to relax you. And I find trick-taking games often do that. Now this one helps that feeling because the choices in the game are neat, but they're simple. And you even have some choices you can make which reduce the turn tension. For example, here's what I mean. This is one of those games in which you predict how many tricks you are going to take. So you'll take a look at your hand of pup cards and you are going to figure out, I think I'll take 2 tricks. And so you'd play this card, exactly 2 tricks. But if you're not sure you're going to take exactly 2 tricks, if you are still learning the game, if you are just not ready to deal with the pressure of this card, well then you can play it on this side. It says you can take at least 2 tricks. And yes, the rewards are lower, but you don't have to deal with that pressure, And as you are learning the game, if you are unsure of your hand, well, you can take this kind of card and go into it in a more relaxed fashion. Later on, when you're more familiar with the game and you feel like you're ready to say, okay, I'll take exactly 2, or I'll take exactly 3, then you can do that. Another thing that's very cool and disarming in the game is that if you take this and you win exactly 2, well, you're going to get some treats as victory points. If you don't do it, though, you got what they call a penalty poo. Ooh. And so you get some negative points there. However, next hand, you can rebid this card. And so you get to, in this game, you get to get rid of your negative points as you play. And so it's very easy to come back in the game. You never feel like mistakes stick around to haunt you. The entire thing has a very easygoing, colorful, bright, familiar feel to it that is going to go over really well with family, with a mixed age group of players. Everyone can get into this one, and everyone's going to have a couple of chuckles looking at the cards and a good, fun, relaxed time with the game. So I would recommend it for that style of setting. That's Pups.
Hey guys, it's Nerd E here, and today I'm going to be talking about a game that puts me in that Zen mode, that cardboard Zen, where I feel relaxed and I just need to get away from things mentally and everything else. That game for me is Onirim. It's Onirim or any of the Onirim universe, the universe things. Let's just get into Onirim itself. So where am I? Well, I'm in sort of a dream state trying to fight off the nightmares by playing cards. It's a solo game, and you can play it as a 2-player, but I've never played it as a 2-player. I've only played it as a solo, and that's going to be sort of why I feel like it's a cardboard Zen for me. But you're playing cards trying to collect certain sets of things before the deck runs out. It's a hard game, but again, I'm not playing it necessarily for the difficulty. So who am I? Well, I am just playing cards, trying to collect those things, and I'm the dreamer. And the artwork really gets me into that aspect of dreaming. It's very fanciful, very colorful, and I feel like I'm going through a dream state with some of the nightmare cards and different things that come out in the expansions, etc. How am I? Well, as far as being in a dream state, there's really hard to do that in a board game. But I feel like Onirim really gets you there because it's a solo game. For me, I play it solo. Sleeping and dreaming is a solo game, as it were. And I really feel like that it gets me into that calm mode. It's sort of dreamlike. It's very sleepy of a game. I know it's a difficult game for a lot of people. It's hard to win. But I'm usually playing it just sort of to zone out, play a game by myself, solo a game, not around anyone else, no party games or anything I want to do. It's just want to play a game by myself and get out of my own head for a little while. And that's one that does that. That's Onirim or any of the games from that genre. Sylveon, Castellion, there's a bunch of them. But I really think that solo games get me in that mood more than anything else. And Onirim, you should pick it up. It looks fantastic, and it really gets you into that mode of just letting go and just playing a quick little card game by yourself. Thanks, guys.
I love to be outside, enjoy the plants, enjoy the air. Gardening is like meditation. In this nature we all share. Shaping order in chaos with my rake and pruning knife. The world is at my fingers. I am part of the circle of life. With the birds and the bees and the butterflies, my hands are taking root. My soul is one with nature and my work is bearing fruit. The garden is zen, I do all I can for the Empire of Japan. My virtue of patience will now be rewarded, as China's great emperor just came to see. The peace that they offer comes with a gift. The burden of honor has fallen on me. It's a great panda. I can do this. Huzzah! I love to be outside, enjoy the plants, enjoy the air. Bamboo gardening is like meditation with an oversized teddy bear. He wants food all day long. I am taken for granted. 30 kilos a day of the sprouts that I just planted. The birds and the bees and the butterflies, they all just fly away. Only chaos knows serenity. My garden is a buffet. But I am at ease. I don't miss my trees. When I hear a baby panda sneeze.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Gamelympics, where we award bronze, silver, and gold to, in this case, games that look very zen, but they lie. The bronze medal goes to Echo. Just look at that cover. It's gorgeous, it's serene, it's a beautiful game, and it's beautiful when it's set up. It's a gorgeous abstract very cool looking, pastel colored wonderment. And then you realize it's a super cutthroat game and you got to be careful for long range moves as the board starts to be devoid of pieces. Someone can just from way across the board sweep in there and take out your pieces, and this is not a serene game at all. Our silver medal goes to Morels, a game in which you are going to be walking through the forest collecting mushrooms. I mean, just think about that. Just close your eyes and think about that imagery, and it's going to be relaxing. And then you realize that in this game for just 2 players, your opponent keeps sticking you with garbage you don't need and stealing all the mushrooms you do want, and then you turn around and you end up with a destroying angel which poisons you. I mean, what kind of relaxing card game has a card in it that has a biohazard symbol? This isn't relaxing. This game lies. And our gold medal goes to Matainai, a game in which you are a worker in a Buddhist temple. I mean, come on. How much more Zen could you get? In it, you are going to be meditating and building things like a quilt. And you're going to be building an origami crane. I mean, oh, that's so relaxing. And then you remember that this game is based on Glory to Rome, which was pretty difficult to figure out and kind of punishing, and your opponent really seems to have a grasp on what's going on much more than you do, and you've been just gathering and gathering goods so you can finally build that flute that's been hanging over your head the entire game. And hold on, your opponent could at any second play a card and steal everything you've got, and what is this now? They just did, and they just won the game. Thanks for playing. Matainai. And that's going to do it for our Gamelympics. If you know of a game that you think should have walked away with one of these medals, let me know in the comments below. Or maybe tell me your favorite of the opposite camp. A game that does not look very zen, but you find really relaxing. I'd love to hear your thoughts.
Hello there, friends of the blend. Today's episode is Cardboard Zen. It's all about relaxing games and Zen games, and quite a few people falsely assume that Kanagawa is a Zen game, it's a relaxing game. It is not.
Like, what makes you think that being a painter and creating a masterpiece is something peaceful? It's a big pressure and it's quite a nervous job.
One or two cards, one or three, all 3 cards. I will need 3 cards. Maybe I need all the animals, I need people, I need everything. I need to paint, I need resources, I need it all. I don't know what to do, I don't know. And as you saw, Kanagawa is not a relaxing game. Unlike Bomb Squad, which is published by DMG, and the designers are Dan Keltner and David Short.
This game is really interesting. It combines Hanabi, action programming, and real time. You are part of Bomb Squad team. You are programming robots and trying to save hostages and disarm bombs. And everything happens in real time.
Yeah, I'm sure the theme sounds really cool to you, and it is. It's unique, it's refreshing. There is Hanabi mechanic put into the theme rather than the theme put on top of this mechanic, which I really like. The theme comes through.
This game has several missions. You can start with a training mission, like the easiest one, go to the harder, and you can even create your own mission. So it has tons of replayability.
Yeah.
This game has app as well, and the app will make the countdown, the time countdown, and you can add some background music like heartbeat and time tickling or like anything thematic. So pretty much you might have 16 minutes in order to save, let's say, 3 hostages and to disarm 3 bombs. So no pressure at all. Only a couple of life depends on you.
Just a clock ticking sometimes.
Yeah, pure Zen. This is fine. I'm okay with the events unfolding currently. That's okay. Everything's gonna be okay.
I didn't see you there. Hello. We're gonna go back to our game now.
Howdy folks, Rebecca and Hunter here from Player Showdown, and our relaxing go-to game is Biblios. Plays 2 to 4 players, lasts about 30 minutes, just a light little fun card game.
Biblios is a set collection game. There is 5 different suits of cards, and your goal at the end of the game is to have the most of a suit. And by most, that's total value. The cards have numbers on them, and you want to add up your total. And if you have the total, you win the points that are on the dice in front of us. The dice can be modified throughout the game. They normally start, I think, at all 3s, and you can change them up and down depending on what cards you get. Biblios is done in 2 phases. The first phase, all you're doing is you're simply dividing the cards up into 3 piles for 2 players. Basically, a pile for me, a pile for her, and a pile for auctioning later on. So you take a card and you look at it and you go, do I want this card? Or do I want to give it to her? Or do I want to put it in the auction pile? You do that, and then you take the next one, and you decide who to give it to, and then you take the last one, and whoever's left, whatever pile is left, you put it on that pile. It's the same for multiplayer. You just add more, you divide it up among more people. Once you divide all the stacks, she'll end up with a stack. I'll end up with a stack. And the auction pile will end up with a stack. And then you go and you start auctioning the piles off. And if it's a card that's a color, you have to pay money to get it. And if it's a money card, you can give up your set collection, your color cards, to take money. And you auction off all those cards, and you'll end up with each a pile, and then you see who has the most of each set. And you score that many points.
What's great about this game is the only difference from 2 players to 4 players is how many cards you take out, so you don't have perfect knowledge of how many cards and what is in the game. And that's it. All of the rules are the same.
Yeah, I like this game. This one's easy to throw down. It's very portable. It comes in a small little box. And in fact, you don't even really need that box. You could just take the dice and the cards and put it there in and pack it up and take it in a small little package. So very portable, very easy to play, very easy to learn, but very, very fun and relaxing.
Yes, so if you want to play a nice, small, easy to learn, easy to play, relaxing game, check out Biblios. Thank you so much.
Praise!
And that's going to do it for us, everybody. A big thank you to you. A big thanks to all my contributors for all their fun segments. And as always, come on back in a couple of weeks and join us again for our next episode. And hey, don't forget, stay a friend of the blend. I'll see you next time.